Right now, there are tons of builders slashing prices, giving crazy incentives, and some will even buy down the rate to 3.999999%. And in order to get relief from these high interest rates, a lot of buyers are taking advantage of these price cuts and of these massive incentives these builders are giving, which makes it really hard not to throw a blind eye at new construction. I've got some more crazy information cooking in the kitchen.
Now, in November of 2023, the U.S. Census Bureau said that the median home price for new construction homes was right around $434,700. Now, that's about a 20% price hike compared to existing homes in that same time period. Now, aside from post-pandemic problems with labor shortages and getting materials like lumber or even windows in certain situations, the reason for this larger gap between resale and new construction has mainly to do with this hangover from the Great Recession.
So now we're going to take a look at some of these areas, right, that have affordable new construction. Papi, that's right. So for this list, we're looking at the metric of affordability in metro areas. And if it happens to be a great place for families too, it's just an added bonus. And please note that the data from all these cities is pulled from December of 2023. You won't want to miss this additional city that I have in store for you. It might just end up being the best option for you and your family.
So the first city on our list is Jacksonville, North Carolina. Now, this affordable beach town is about 2 hours southeast of Raleigh. It's also a very popular spot for second home buyers. And because it's home to the Marine Corps Camp Lejeune, there are lots of people moving in and out of this area very frequently. Compared to other large cities, land prices in Jacksonville are relatively low, and the amount of land that's available for sale is relatively high. Builders broke ground here on over 100 single-family homes in January of 2023, according to the Census Bureau. And you can find a newly built home here in Jacksonville for right around $270,000. Our next stop is Greenville, South Carolina. Located along the Blue Ridge Mountains, Greenville has been booming with new jobs, attracting young families and young professionals to this specific area. It's also become a hotspot for retirees thanks to its low taxes. And a lot of people relocated to this area specifically during the pandemic just because they realized how far their money could go. There's lots to do in this artsy little town with award-winning restaurants, a theater, a minor league sports team, and even a food hall made of shipping containers in downtown. You can get a 2-bedroom starter home close to downtown for just under $250,000, and the median sale price in this area is right around $288,000.
We're going to take a quick break for nap time right now, right? Are you going to take your nap? Yeah, but we need to let them know that Mama knows a whole lot of people, right? A whole lot of people all over the United States, lenders, real estate agents. So if you're interested in finding out more information about any of these cities that we're talking about today, all my contact information is going to be in the description below.
Next up is Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So Oklahoma is really known for its flat, cheap land, which builders love because they can put homes up quickly and usually at a more affordable price. And this is really great news for people looking to purchase in this oil town. According to the latest census data, the population of this city has grown over 17% in the last decade. More than 100,000 people have relocated here in the last 10 years, making it the 6th fastest growing city in the United States. So new developments have gone up in Edmond and Yukon, which are suburbs of Oklahoma City, where buyers can find brand new, nice size, single family homes. And the median home price in this area is right around $290,000. Oh, and a little side note, my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, they've lived in Yukon and now they live in Edmond and they love it there, and we love visiting them up in Oklahoma because they're really not that far away. So next on our list is Odessa, Texas. So similarly to Oklahoma City, this West Texas area is an oil region and has lots and lots and lots of affordable land. So much so that builders have been scooping up parcels left and right, and they've started over 116 building projects just the beginning of 2023. Not only that, but 82 of those projects were single family homes. Home prices in Odessa have generally been on the lower side, respectively to the US and also to the rest of the state. And because its economy is so closely tied to oil and gas, a lot of people move in and out of the area depending on that specific market. This turnover of homes means there's more inventory here in this specific area compared to any other part of the United States. Crops of new builds have popped up in West Odessa, and the median home price in this area hovers around $295,000. And last but surely not least is Cincinnati, Ohio. Or is that Union, Kentucky? I don't know. Both cities are so close to one another. It's hard to tell what's in Kentucky, what's really in Ohio. We'll take a look. Now, there are plenty of tract homes just outside of Cincinnati for those who are looking for the suburban dream. And confusingly enough, that suburban dream includes the city of Union, Kentucky, which is less than 30 minutes from Cincinnati, where you can get a 4-bedroom house under $300,000. All right, so let's not get too derailed with this Union City, Kentucky. Let's focus back on Cincinnati. Now, in Cincinnati, the government did incentivize builders in this area, in its inner city, to start building homes. Now, I would say that right now, it's probably already maybe built out, or maybe they're just not building as much anymore. When I looked online and tried to find a couple of things, I could be completely wrong about this, but I did see one home for sale that was new construction, and it was right around $390,000. It was a 3-bedroom house, so that will just kind of give you an idea of what's kind of happening in the inner city area of Cincinnati in a neighborhood called Evanston. From what I could tell, the article that I read was claiming that the median price in Cincinnati for new construction was right around $325,000. I found that to be a little bit far-fetched for the area, but you let me know in the comments below. Am I right about Cincinnati, or am I wrong about Cincinnati? Or should you just move to Kentucky if you need to be close to Cincinnati? And lastly, I just want to run you through a couple of quick tips when it comes to buying new construction. First things first, you want to make sure that you're budgeting smartly. That means knowing your budget, knowing how much you can spend, not necessarily how much you want to spend. There's a big difference. So what I really want to emphasize here is that you're communicating with your mortgage lender and letting them know, hey, I only want my monthly budget to be around $2,500. Like, that's the max that it needs to be for my monthly payment. And then them letting you know, okay, if you want $25,000 to be your monthly payment, this is how much you can afford with this house over here. That's the easiest way for you to try to stay in your budget. The other quick note about new construction and your budget is that you want to make sure that if you're building a home, your base price is really low, like a lot lower than you want it to be, because you're probably going to have things added onto that, and there's going to be an end sales price at the end when you sign your contract with the builder. So just be aware that base price is not the sales price, and you want to disregard that if you're already buying a pre-existing home. A lot of times they'll have a set price already to go for that, including all the upgrades and updates and lot premiums and all of that.
Now, when you're looking at purchasing a new construction home, you want to make sure that you have 3 people connected to you. You want to make sure that you have a good agent, a good lender, and most importantly, a good home inspector. And the real estate agent is going to be able to connect you to the lender and also that home inspector. And there are 3 things that you really want to think about when it comes to the home buying process. Number 1, don't do it alone. Make sure that you have representation, that you have a real estate agent that you know, love, and trust to help you through that process. Next, you want to compare the builder's lender to the lender that the real estate agent has introduced you to or that you already know. You want to make sure that you do this because you'll be able to see what hidden fees there are, what additional costs the builder's lender might be trying to charge you in order to say that you're saving money. And especially if you're going through the entire build process, you want to make sure that you get a home inspection at every phase and stage of new construction. Now, it's one thing to buy something that's already built and that's already existing, but it's a whole nother thing to go through and build a home from the ground up. So make sure you get all of your inspections.
Some other questions that you might want to ask your local real estate agent when you're talking with them about this new construction home is, what are the property taxes for this house? They should have a general idea. Also, the salesperson will know as well. The other thing that you really need to be discussing with your realtor about is the property's potential appreciation over the years. Is the appreciation going to be going up really, really, really fast? Or is it declining? And that's something that you really should know before you visit, before you do any of those things. Is this an area of decline or is this an area of growth? And if there is growth happening, is it happening really, really fast? Because that might also put you in a bad situation financially as well.
So here are a few common pitfalls that you want to make sure that you avoid when you're purchasing new construction. First off, don't rush into a deal. Usually if you rush into a deal, it's not going to be good for you in the long run, but it's going to be better for the builder. Next, read the contract. I know it's super long, but in the long run, it's going to help you understand how much money you owe and how much money the builder owes and who's going to pay for what. So it's super important that you go through that contract. Also, you want to make sure that you look out for any special improvement districts or utility districts that the construction is being developed around. Now, this is more common here in Texas, may not be as much in other states, but I'm sure they're building in the cost of these utilities somewhere in your contract. So make sure that you understand where those fees and where those things are coming from when it comes to those special utility districts. The next thing that you want to look out for is to not buy a house that backs to a busy street or even a house that's going to be a main thoroughfare for traffic that's going to come in and out, and you're going to hear all those big trucks just zoom by you like this one over here. I know this next thing sounds a little bit odd, but make sure you know the rules for the HOA. I know it's hard to believe that someone would, sign a contract and not know the actual rules for the HOA, but it does happen, and you want to make sure that, you're not stuck in a house that only allows for a wrought iron fence in the back, or maybe you wanted to park your car on the street, and now you can't do that because there are rules from the HOA that you can't do that. And lastly, you need to make sure that you know what's included in your contract and what's not. Maybe the motor to the garage door opener is not included and you didn't realize that. Or maybe the refrigerator you thought was going to be there, it's really not when you move in. That would really stink if you found that out, the day you closed.
And now our bonus city, which is the beautiful Jacksonville, Florida. Now, Jacksonville was a very popular spot during the pandemic for people to want to move and relocate to. And as a result of that, prices have gone quite significantly in the area. Now, not as much comparatively, like prices right now compared to the rest of the US, it's still a lot lower, but it has gone up quite a bit since pre-pandemic times. Now, obviously because of the beautiful beaches that are not too far away, but this city is also affordable compared to the rest of Florida. And the median home price for new construction in this area is right around $331,000. Now, that's not going to get you a beachfront property. Let's make that clear. It's going to be outside of town. It's probably going to be further away from the beach, further from the ocean, but that's about what you're looking at when it comes to new construction for this area.
Now that we've explored some of the lowest priced new construction metro areas, what do you guys think? Do you think that $270,000 is still way too much to pay for new construction? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. And if you want to know about a few other affordable options for you and your family, you'll want to watch this video right over here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.